have Ammar Hameed, who is the director of marketing at Sazgar Autos, which is a massive conglomerate in Pakistan right now. They're dealing in three wheelers. They're doing rims for tractors. They're doing Havel. They're doing bike. So they're doing a whole load in the automotive market. And what we're going to do is we're going to walk through Ammar, what the challenges of the three wheeler market, how he sees them progress, and the EV potential within Pakistan, and how that landscape can develop internally and for export potential. So, firstly, Ammar, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for
We're
having me.
grateful for your time. I want to start off with something more like chilled out and more candid, and I want to understand how Sazgar Engineering came about, the background, and like how the journey's been so far.
Sazgar was actually started as a company to make washing machines, Hoover washing machines in Pakistan. That was a massive failure, and Sazgar was bankrupt and it was up for sale in Dubai in the mid 90s. After that, it took a turn when my father started manufacturing tractor rims for Miller. And from there, Sazgar transitioned into three wheelers. And in the mid 2000s, we uh, pioneered the CNG noiseless, smokeless rickshaw. And at that time, एक स्कीम थी परवेज इलाही की एक स्कीम थी चीफ मिनिस्टर्स ग्रीन पंजाब स्कीम
Yeah,
उसके अंदर काफ़ी ज़्यादा डिफरेंट मॉडल्स और डिफरेंट रिक्शाज इंपोर्ट हुए थे टुक टुक हुआ था इंडिया का बजाज हुआ था all of them ended up failing and the masses adopted Sazgar and the two stroke wale
and this is the CNG rickshaw.
हाँ this is the CNG rickshaw and इस तरह two stroke wale slowly were pushed out of the market and then they were replaced with cleaner four stroke CNG rickshaws. So for the last 2-3 decades, Sazgar has always thought of clean and green energy for climate
Yeah.
change. In 2016, Sazgar made Pakistan's first electric vehicle, and we foresee that the change from CNG, from sorry, two-stroke to four-stroke, was was an easier change. The change now from petrol to electric will be a much harder change. The reason being कि जो एक average बंदे के लिए जो रिक्शा है उसकी अब तो खैर इन्फ्लेशन की वजह से वैसे ही बहुत ज़्यादा महंगा हो गया बट करंट प्राइसेस के अंदर the average petrol one is for about 4.5 lakhs and the electric one starts off at about just under 10.
Just under 10.
Yeah,
Okay, not
so
bad.
just under
And
10
I would
lakhs.
assume that most of this cost is embedded in the battery that
Yeah,
has to be
most of the
imported.
cost is the battery.
Yeah, so it's a
Yeah,
dollar denominated imported battery.
yeah,
That is the
yeah,
problem.
yeah.
Okay.
So there's one solution that we've thought of in this, a battery swapping solution.
Yeah.
कि the driver doesn't own the battery, they just rent the battery.
Yeah.
And it'll be a cheaper alternative to them than paying for fuel. So it would have to make cost sense for them as well to transition. So हो ये रहा था कि we've made a consortium with LUMS, two LUMS professors, battery manufacturers from Korea, a petrol station a petrol station brand and distributor in Pakistan who would then set up the battery swappable stations and then a battery assembling company here as well because and this is something that we thought of ourselves because we feel that we won't get any support to do this from the government
Yeah.
because and honestly it can only work if the government supports us in this. अभी recently एक चीज़ हुई है कि they've given interest free loans for two wheelers and three
Yeah.
wheelers. So let's see how that goes.
Okay, so Amar, in terms of like EV policy in the country, we have a very unstable government and there's a lot of volatility. And I'm assuming, as someone who is directly impacted by policy making in the EV sphere, I know the Ministry of Commerce and the Ministry of Climate Change have battled it out as well. So how do you see the policy framework in general, and like what do you see as the good and the negative in whatever has been developed so far?
Sazgar has been ready for the electric revolution since 2016. That's when we made the first electric vehicle of Pakistan. इशू ये आया कि when we sold those electric vehicles, जब वो register होने जाती थी, they weren't being registered for free as promised in the policy, because the softwares of
Excise
the
and
excise
taxation.
and taxation department weren't updated. They didn't have an option to select electric. A similar thing happened to e-trons as well.
The Audi.
Islamabad Audi e-trons. Islamabad and Peshawar mein they were being registered as an electric vehicle, but Baki provinces mein they weren't. They're being registered as a 3500 cc car. So that is the issue. That there is a disconnect between the federal policies and then the provincial governments.
Yeah.
And there's a similar issue in three wheelers as well, and not just in three wheelers, in like many industries in Pakistan. There are multiple government departments that are interfering with other departments' roles and responsibilities.
And you think the policies evolved since 2018 for in a positive manner?
Now they've made a new policy about giving loans, interest-free loans, to help purchase electric two-wheelers and three-wheelers. They're also made a new, like, just like उन्होंने greenfield निकाली थी for all the new entrants to come into the Pakistani market for four-wheelers, for cars. उसी तरह उन्होंने एक electric greenfield policy भी निकाली है.
अच्छा. Okay. Acha, in terms of the barriers, so if you think there's, the EV policy hypothetically is conducive, what are the general barriers to entry for, investors to, come into this market?
Come into the three-wheeler market or
Or
the
generally the
electric?
EV electric market to serve mass consumers in Pakistan?
Pakistan itself isn't ready for to go fully electric right now. The world isn't ready to go fully electric. So Pakistan will take some time to get there. For example, biggest एक चीज होती है कि आप लाहौर to इस्लामाबाद जा सको एक electric vehicle में. For most residents of Lahore ये होता है, that's their range distance, कि यार इतनी electric vehicle की range तो मुझे होनी चाहिए. Most of the vehicles right now जो available हैं, they in Pakistan at least वो नहीं कर सकते.
Yeah.
So that's an issue. So the transition to going fully electric, we feel can start after transitioning first into hybrid. So that's why we launched the first hybrid vehicle of Pakistan, first locally made hybrid vehicle of Pakistan, the Havel 86 HEV. And that this shows that Sazgar as a company has always focused on providing clean solutions to its customers, and focuses a lot on the climate.
As I think one of the very few companies who had such a positive footprint in Pakistan. I want to kind of like focus a little more on like three wheelers now, and like I want to ask you, what do you think is the future of EV rickshaws in Pakistan, and what do you see as like the export potential of these as well?
So with the current situation, जो local market के जिस तरह के हालात हैं अभी, our focus on export has greatly increased, and we were already exporting to about 30 countries before this. We were the first and only company, automobile company, to export to Japan. We've recently got an order for them for an electric vehicle as well. And now, recently, this week, in fact, we've just got an order from the US and from Liberia from a Uber type ride hailing company who wants to make a fleet of three-wheel electric rickshaws. So the export potential is there, and we feel that that's the only future right now that I
Yeah.
see, because the current market is जो एक rickshaw that 5 years ago एक rickshaw जो था, that was for about 150,000.
Wow.
आज वही rickshaw is for 450,000, and the customer of that rickshaw, you need to understand कि वो अपने personal शौक के लिए नहीं वो rickshaw ले रहा, वो ले रहा है अपने बीवी बच्चों को खाना देने के लिए.
Yeah.
उसका that is his livelihood.
Yeah.
And so 1.5 लाख फिर भी एक reachable amount लगती थी. अब 450,000, which is more than double.
Triple. It's
It's like,
exactly
so
triple.
yeah, it's triple. So it's like बहुत मुश्किल हो गया. So That is why we're focusing on the export market right now. But
In terms of like, if we talk about quantifying the impact that you think that going electric in the three-wheeler market will be, what do you think that impact is for the mass consumer in Pakistan?
so with electric, the issue is that the upfront cost is now again double. So the regular one is for 450, and the electric one is crossing 1 million plus. So, but the savings in an electric rickshaw in 1 year alone is around 8 to 10 lakh rupees. Wow. Because maintenance nahi hai. The only moving parts in an electric vehicle are the tires.
Yeah.
कोई ऑयल चेंज कोई बिल्ड और कोई चेंज नहीं करना कोई सर्विस essentially नहीं करनी. So the saving of an average driver if he drives his daily route जो हमने calculate किया हुआ है, an average driver drives around 100 to 150 kilometers a day. Yeah. Okay. Some even cross 200 a day.
So like 35K kilometers a year.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So they would be saving about 10 lakh plus a year based on the fuel.
And that kind
fuel
of
prices.
returns the
Yeah.
whole investment in any case.
Exactly. But again, the issue is the upfront cost.
Yeah.
So that's where the government is now stepping in. They're offering interest-free loans, and I think this is a good strategy. It should succeed. But
You're shaky on the policy execution front.
yeah, it's because of past experience on many different policies.
I think phenomenal figures we've seen. I think there's huge potential in Pakistan for some stuff to get fixed from the export front, from the fuel saving front, from green energy front. So I really hope Sazgar keeps growing as it is, and keeps doing the amazing work that it's been doing for over 3 decades. So yeah, it was great having you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.